Hi everybody. Hi everybody. Hi everybody. It's your friend Daniel Hutchins. As you can tell right now, I'm in the bathroom again because the glass door shower and the light overboard. But yeah, um, what's going on? We're over here at the hut, and we are trying to deliver you guys some inspiring ideas over here at our small but the proud channel we call the Hutchins Hut Originals. And yes, we are 100% authentic. We are 100% original, and we try to live by that promise every day, and every day, and every night, and every week, and every month, and every year, as far as we can humanly scope and clear. But let me tell you something, guys, right now. I was trying to have a conversation with Captain America. Yes, the Captain America. I was having a conversation with Captain America for 3 hours. Yeah, for like 3 hours, I was talking to Captain America, the real Captain America. Well, yeah, well, you guys might think, how do I have connection to Captain America? You guys might be wondering, how do I talk to these people? Well, my friends, this is a special video for you. Yes, you. Yes, on your left. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. Remember, in order to restore balance and the power of the righteous and the sovereign of a freedom state, by trying to join me in my crusades, my holy pilgrimage, as we are trying to find solutions to try to drive away the corrupt billionaires here in the United States and the extraterrestrial threats of the comic book universe. We need to try to bring a balance so that way the comic book universes, they are saved by our excellent ideas, despite the fact we're not inhabited and we're born with superpowered gifts or superpowers like they would. Remember, the superhero universes are counting on us. We are a secondary outlet so that they can feel like they are getting the assurance. Not the insurance, gets covered by superheroes, by like the wealth of Bruce Wayne or Tony Stark. No, by this idea that by our evangelic faith and by using this idea, we're not talking about soccer, but actually I follow both Messi and Ronaldo. But yes, that's not what we're trying to talk about, Mackie. That's not what we're trying to talk about. We're trying to talk about ways of reinsurance to ensure that our universe and the comic book one is to be able to be restored in the righteous ideas, not by the villainy and the emotions trying to take control of us. Because for 3 hours, I was able to actually contact Captain America, Steve Rogers, despite the fact people's like, how do I contact Steve Rogers? Well, from the Avengers. Again, I have a special direct emergency call. On my emergency list, I can call any of the superheroes at any given moment, in any given time, in any given place. That, again, takes real courage. Again, people like to say I'm afraid because I dart my eyes back and forth. Who doesn't dart their eyes back and forth? Name somebody who doesn't feel like in conscious anxiety. I don't know if you guys know anybody that has constant, never-ending levels of anxiety where I'm shivering, where I feel like the shivers are brutally going up into my shirt. That's what I'm trying to remind all you guys. And yes, Rackwell, and hi there, guys. It's good that you guys are here to listen to me as your friend here on the channel. I'm trying to remind you guys that right now we are having a really, really, very deeply profound reassurance of hope that right now the comic book universe is in constant collision course with our universe. And how is that happening? Well, again, because I have direct calls and messaging systems hooked directly to the Avengers, I can call them anytime I want and warn them of whatever cosmic or national or domestic or international threat is happening at any given moment, at any given day, in any given time, or anything. So remember, guys, I was one who actually had saved a universe before. I was able to save an entertainment, pulp culture entertainment universe in a timeline that took almost as long as God was able to build this universe. If God was able to build our planet in 7 days, I was able to match that same level that he did. When he was able to actually save our world in 7 days, I did the same. By doing that, I actually had, I guess, I don't know, celestial gifts that my family had took me from granted. But again, am I a half a celestial? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But again, you don't see my nose growing out like a twig. Do I feel like I'm like Pinocchio sometimes? Do I look like you think I'm going into the Pinocchio transformation by, becoming a donkey? Well, yeah, I guess some people say I am kind of like a liar. I'm like, oh, I want to be a real boy. Oh, I want to be a real boy. Geppetto, can I be a real boy? But then you realize that connection that I have with Pinocchio, people said, oh yeah, well, you lie so much, Daniel. How are we supposed to trust you? Well, if I said what I said, then it must be backed up with a reason. And if I'm not able to back that up with a reason, then people try to turn away from me and they're like, hey, I thought that you said this, and now you turned around and now said this. Yeah, that is the art of a liar. And then people said, oh yeah, why do I lie all the time? Well, let me remind you guys something. I'm not exactly a saint. I don't think any of us are saints. In fact, I think everybody on this planet and in our galaxy, the Milky Way, and everybody has always been the sinner. But the only way to redeem yourself is by opening your heart to God, the Holy Spirit, and the Son. That's the only way. And if you're able to keep him in your heart and listen to him and let him make the executive play call, like you're trying to tell your team on the football game how to do an executive play call field, by using the playbooks of the NFL, it's kind of sort of like the metaphor that is used with God, the Holy Spirit, and his Son. That is why I like to say I'm a Christian, but because people want backup, people want proof, people want evidence, people like, oh, prove it to us. That is the struggle. That is the struggle that I live with the scars I have and I wear every day. Despite the fact I am oftentimes labeled as a geek or a nerd or anything like that, hey, those are my battle scars. Those are the scars to my beautiful. I'm genuinely a nice, laid-back guy. I'm very, very, very sensitive on this idea that if my idea is not accepted, then I will feel like crap in the aftermath. Because it's the same reason why I'm labeled as so many pulp fiction characters. Pulp fiction characters like Bruce Wayne, Peter Parker, Harry Potter. Yeah, I am related to Batman, Spider-Man, Harry Potter, and I've also been in the rabbit hole, fallen down in Wonderland, and I've also had a little bit of some adventures. Let me tell you, I've had lots of them. I've had many, many, many countless stories I can tell you. But right now, the tallest task at hand is trying to remember that the superheroes are not alone, and we are not alone either. And because the superheroes are not alone, and because we're not alone, we have to join forces. How do we join forces with the superhero community? Well, first, What you need to do is hear me on this one. Guys, you got to hear me on this one, okay? To try to understand and compensate and come to a full compromise. Not a compromise like an absolute compromise, but a compromise that would actually work. How do we get a compromise to go through like a negotiation, like, with the Trade Federation or the Jedi Knights we saw in 1999 to try to protect the Queen? Well, how do we do that? Well, by using our power of the imagination from our friend Elmo. We need to try to use our imagination so that we can see that our dreams will be true. How do we see that imagination to try to make those dreams become true? It's not just about becoming true and staying true. It's this idea of trying to live in a fragment of this world and then going beyond that world to help other places, like the fictional places that I love to resort and escape myself towards. I like to be able to escape to those worlds. When I feel like my world is threatened, I have to escape and resort to those other places to ensure that not only their safety is saved, but ours is saved also. So how do we do that? Well, step one. First, you need to subscribe to the Hutchins Hut. Second, you need to hear me out on everything I say. Third, you need to ensure that you remember that, yes, I remember you, Shy. I remember. I remember you. I remember you. You were on a couple times ago. I remember you. Yeah, I remember you, Shy. You're very, very beautiful, by the way. Um, Also, I got a question. This might sound like I don't know, a constructive word from one creator to another. Why is your uh why is your profile picture sideways? Shy, if you're listening to me right now, why is your photo sideways? Every time your photo becomes sideways, well, I think you're perfect just how you are by the power and the extension of Ken and from the band One Direction. And if you want to be sure that you are able to actually make your I don't know, that looks like that's an art photo that you made with your own imagination. Yes. Also, what's your favorite color of eyeshadow? Do you have a favorite kind of eyeshadow? Okay. So okay, guys, let me add favorite eyeshadows. Purple, blue, darker, darker than night, okay, guys. Here is your first poll questions for people like Shy. For people that are named Shy or Sila. Okay. Favorite eyeshadows. Favorite eyeshadows. And yes, some of my TikTok shorts that are really popular on those 4 TikTok channels that I have made hence in the past. Favorite eyeshadows. Again, so this was the first question of the polls for today. Favorite eyeshadow. And you don't have to be on a drag show to enjoy eyeshadow. You can be an artist and you can wear eyeshadow and nobody can judge you. Because if anybody judges you, then they are wrong. Remember that, guys. Remember that. I might be pop quizzing you guys on that stuff if you guys need that. But I don't think you guys need that because you guys are excellent. You ride by an idea of excellent. You ride in a story that is excellence. To ride on a car that's excellent. To have seats that are excellent. No fast food cups, no fast food bags, no crumbs, no bugs, no mice, no nothing. No holes in the jackets, no holes in the seats, no holes in the lever, just excellence. So how do you ride by excellence? Well, that is where we're trying to go into the next season. That will be starting. Um, that will be starting on the first of the new year. Well, this new year is actually coming up really quickly. What am I having for dinner tonight? Well, I don't know because I haven't eaten anything all day and I've been talking all day. And I've talked 3 hours to Captain America to try to come to a conclusion at why he and the other heroes should trust me and believe that I am helping them by letting them know I'm in the same boat as they are. I am in the same boat as they are. Okay, guys. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a fun question. Um, I'm gonna give you guys a fun question. Okay, so here's a fun question for all you guys that know PlayStation and video games from the pop culture and the nostalgic of the universe. You should do a live stream on New Year's. You know, Shiloh, that's actually a good idea. You know why? But again, you guys are the ones that are, the fan base, the communication. I love how, you guys are always able to always stay true, very loyal. You guys have always been loyal to me. Um, Crash and Bandicoot are two different people. Um, I don't know. Um, okay. What if I told you Crash Bandicoot was just, a fox that we used to have on PlayStation until then Crash and Bandicoot then decided, oh, they just want to morph into one, which is just Crash Bandicoot. He also technically Crash Bandicoot, in case you want to know, he was an original a flagship character from the first PlayStation games. So much so that Crash Bandicoot is just a fox. Not like Spy Fox, but just a fox. And he oftentimes has really, really crazy ideas. He's kind of described as like the Tasmanian devil of PlayStation because he is off the wall. When I mean off the wall, I'm not talking about the Vans, like the sneakers off the wall. I'm talking like off the mall, like again, like off the wall, like again, like all over the place. Like, he has this whole entire trilogy of his first three games. It's called Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. Yes, the N apostrophes Sane Trilogy. So this idea that also is directly tied to why we have, you know, video game characters that become very, very famous within the universe. To be able to be famous enough to have a trilogy called the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. The Insane Trilogy. It's not insane, it's insane. Not like, how like NSYNC, bye 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 NSYNC? Now, they, or like a boy group, that again is, oh, do I have Sprite? Oh, you just reminded me. Do I have Sprite? Well, well, that's right. I'm actually not alone right now. I have a, I have a friend that is here right now with me, so I'm not exactly alone right now to do that Sprite Chug ASMR right now, Shiva. But remember, I need to try to increase by 20 or more subscribers by the end of these next few months. I need to have an increase of at least 20 or more subscribers between now and the end of February. It has been justified. Actually, I've had to justify it like 3 or 4 times already in the counting. But again, how many of those soda drinking videos have I had? Well, not too many on the Hutchins Hut, but we have tried to incorporate it into the future from our friends over on the Daniel Eats series. The Daniel Eats series? Yeah, the Daniel Eats series. Again, no subs or likes on those. Yeah, oftentimes I don't feel like I get enough subs and I don't feel like I get enough likes. That's kind of like what happens when you realize I'm a small-time creator. I am a small-time creator, Shy. I am as shy as you are. I'm a small-time creator. I don't know. How many subs and likes have I had? I don't have the analytic page open right now, but I can tell you what sodas I have with me right now. Okay, so far I've only maybe like hit already halfway to 1,000 subscribers. Well, if that has helped you out, I'm only like little halfway to 1,000. Halfway to 1,000. Because if I get 1,000 subscribers, then I will have ads play within my videos. But because this is the strongest network I have over at the Hutchins Hut Productions Company, which is completely driven by my intellect and my genius. Well, let's see. Do you want Dr. Pepper? Do you want Coke? Do you want cream soda Dr. Pepper or blackberry Dr. Pepper, or what else do we have? Well, we also have 7-Up Shirley Temple Zero. We also have like a ton of sparkling water. But yeah, unfortunately, I already drank all my beer and I don't have any Sprite. Any kind of Dr. Pepper? Okay. Do you want it to be diet or do you want to have it 0 sugar? Let me do a poll right now. Dr. Pepper, diet or 0 blackberry or 0? Okay, guys, this is the next poll. How am I doing, Angelo Lopez? I am doing excellent right now. I'm by myself right now. Okay. You want me to finish up some of the Diet Dr. Pepper? Well, that's excellent. How have I been doing? I have been doing pretty good. But right now, we are trying to do a video that is a special request video for a special somebody, and her name is Shyla. Special shout out to Shyla, or she just goes by Shy. Okay, yes, you, yes, you, yeah. You're beautiful, by the way. So, anyway, question for you guys. Do you want me to use this Nutcracker cup? Do you want me to use this cup? It is a kind of a decorative cup. Do you want me to use the cup? Okay, I'm gonna let you guys decide. Decoration cup. Yay or nay? The decoration cup. Yay or nay? Decoration cup, yay or nay? I'm going to let special persons like Shyla decide on this one. Yay or nay? Remember, it's got a warning that says you cannot put it in the dishwasher. You have to hand wash it. Also, so let me turn off the camera real quick as I'm about to give you a satisfying show. And yes, I'm not going to be using the travel cup lid. I am going to use the open cup drink method. What is the open cup drink method? Well, this is what all the people do on ASMRs, and you know your boy like Badland chugs, and I can't actually drink as fast as he can. But do you know what the secret is? The secret to drinking really fast is taking a breath while you have the cup in transit of your mouth. That is the secret. You want to know the secrets? That is one of the secrets that Badland Chuck has told me. I've been a lifelong fan of his. I've even thought about even if I would hire him for a cameo appearance on the Hutchins Hut. I would. I just don't know what drink I would have him do, and I don't know how many subscribers I would need to make that dream happen. Now remember, these decorative cups on the Christmas cups are oftentimes, usually it's about like 1.5 Dr. Peppers. It's usually about 1.5 Dr. Peppers. Because I don't have enough money to afford one of those boot mugs like Badlands does. But, again, if I get enough subscribers and I get enough hype, maybe it could be a possibility. Okay, so we got the cup set. Now, what we need to do is deliver some greatness. How to deliver greatness? Well, for friends like Shyla, we are going to try to deliver some greatness for her so that she can start her new year off right. How do we do that? Well, here goes nothing. First, what you need to do is you need to take a deep breath in through the nose, out with the mouth. Okay. Ah, shit. Here it goes. Yeah, I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. I fucking did it. I fucking did it. That was easy. That was easy. Um, I did it. Now that was easy. Now, judging by how tall this Christmas cup is, um, I don't know. If you can tell me how many ounces that was, well, drop it down in the comments if your name is Shiva09R. Shiva09R, that is for you. That's for you, baby. That's for you. I did it. I finally did it. Well, that was only just the first. The first of something great. A friendship that is something is great. It's a 16 or a 12. Okay. Well, I think it's 16. Do you know why I think it's 16 ounces? Um, well, if you know what a bottle of soda looks like, if you know what a bottle of soda looks like when you go to the Circle K, again, sometimes they do the Pepsis with the 16, sometimes they do the Mountain Dews in the 16, and sometimes they do them in those little tall cans, those little tall boy cans. You know the little tall boy cans? This is like a tall boy can. But to kind of show you, um, okay, to kind of give you kind of a visual, it's kind of sort of around there, sort of. Now, size comparison. You see a size comparison? Well, again, so right this, well, actually, you see how tall this is, and you see how tall this is? I'll let you, experts like Shiloh, I'll let you, compare. Um, yeah, that's okay. If you have to eat, that's fine. I haven't eaten anything. This is like literally the first thing I've had digested for this whole entire day. But yeah, you see what I mean. You see what I mean. The the cup is only about well, I don't actually have. Oh, do I have a ruler? I think I have a ruler. Where is the ruler? I know we have a ruler. Where is the ruler? I know my brother had a ruler. Let me see. My brother actually had a ruler. Yeah. Where are the rulers? Well, the brothers at engineering, they gave me a ruler. I can't find it right now. I thought I actually had a ruler. I can't find it right now. But let me see. I don't know. But yeah, you kind of see the resemblance here, all right? You kind of see the resemblance because of how many more inches it is in comparison with an Arizona raspberry tea. But yeah, let's remember, guys. This is just entertainment, okay? This is for your entertainment and for your eyes only. Okay, this is for your entertainment and for your eyes only. I'm trying to fly straight. I'm trying to fly straight so that I don't lose other channels because I've already lost two. I've already lost two channels and I don't want to lose any more. So, also, we have a special guest here today. We have Captain America here. Hey there, guys. Remember, we have a mission we have to save. And we have to save the Hutchins Hut by remaining humble, steadfast, forever awesome, forever excellent, and forever true. This is my Marvel Legends, the first 10 years. This is my Steve Rogers I have right here. But yeah, he is a shining example of how we are supposed to be, living by his example and not always living by Tony's. Because if you live in the shadows and dealt the troubles like Tony did, then you're only setting yourself up to become a multiversal villain replacement for Kang the Conqueror, Doctor Doom. So you don't want to follow in the art of doom. You want to follow in the art of an idea that, we have to save the comic book universe. Yes, we do. Because without having a universe to build on, there will be a lot of people that are going to be lost. So remember, in the spiritual essence of Captain America, as I have him right here in action figure likeness, remember guys, it's this idea that we have to save a universe. Despite all laws and against us not always liking everything people do, there's this idea that if you want to stay noble and true, you follow in the arts like Captain America did. You have to follow in the same shoes to freedom like Captain America did. Because if you don't follow the same shoes and the same story path as Captain America, then it's like, then what's the point? You need to follow this idea to always stay humble, steadfast, and true in order to believe that you can be something better. You don't have to always live in the past because the past stays in the past. In the powerful essence of Nick Carraway and Jay Gatsby back in 2013, which actually had a really banger soundtrack by Fergie and Jay-Z and several other notable names. But this idea that with the power of imagination and believing that there is a light on the end of your dock that is green, you are able to try to reach for the skies. Just like they always said on Toy Story in 1995. Oh yeah, reach for the skies. It's like, you are not a toy. You're an action figure. And you just have this driven hope, the drive hope for children and adults. Children and adults like you and I. We are able to try to build this hope, the symbol, the meaning, the icons that we look up to. Like, again, our friend Captain America right here. We are able to try to build character up from the groundwork and be able to exact them to the art of perfection. Perfection? Well, again, we don't like using the word perfect, but we make an exception for perfection. Perfection is basically the past tense of perfect, because nothing in this world is ever perfect. But to find by the exact reason, without a single doubt in your head at all, without a sign of anxiety or fear, by trying to stay in the power and the essence of a Green Lantern, you were able to try to carry that onwards. Like when the two brothers had to go rescue their dad. As you know, half of the body went missing. It's like, what happened to my dad? Well, he's half gone. How do you save your father from being half gone? Well, it's kind of complicated, but by spiritual and magical essence, and by, being able to actually have a spear or a scepter, and being able to magically bring your dad back from the dead, which we all wish we can, but, well, for the sake and reason for this being entertainment, it's this idea, this driven idea, this idealistic idea that we need to try to bring balance back into the manifest by having the manifest destiny that is truly trying to pave out your destiny to why you need to see why sometimes people like you and I need to take things at full face value, like the face that's on the $1 bill, like Mr. George Washington, our first president and our first commander in chief. We have to find this idea that founded by the founding ideas and the freedoms in the Constitution, we need to find an idea to try to bring a balance to America and all the other nations, and even the planets and all of the glorious universes, and all the worlds that we need to try to protect. How do we protect those worlds? Well, now with now we have a new force. It's called the Space Force. What is the Space Force? Well, they're not the Power Rangers in space, though we wish that they were. No, the President of the United States, or should we say the POTUS, or the Orange President, or the President that gives Orange the bad name, we are trying to accept the fact that he is the President, despite the fact that in the past several months, we have reasons to hate him. But by this idea of driving forwards and not backwards and not looking back at the past, while also trying to restore a past that is fair opportunities for all, equal opportunities for all. How do we do that? Well, remember what our founding fathers had given to us, what our ancestors and our great ancestors and what all they have given for us, so that we could respect them and honor their legacies, just like people years and years and years and years from now will come and see who the legendary Daniel Hutchins was. What is the Hutchins Hut? Why did I make Hutchins Hut? And what was the mission? And was it fulfilled? And was I a universal savior? Yes. In spiritual essence, yes, I call myself a universal savior. If I could save the universe by the power of warm words and from the heart, well, that is how you destroy evil. You don't destroy evil by superpowers and physical violence. You try to destroy your evil and your threats by trying to have the art of compromise. The art of compromise, well, that's been exacted in Marvel's universe several times in the last couple handfuls of movies. Because, remember, Steve told me today that he told me, you don't have to have the super serum to be Captain America. You don't have to have super soldier serum to wear the shield. Wearing the shield, it's just this idea that it gives you safety, it gives you something to hide again, and then be able to, instead of being in hiding, you're able to use that vibranium shield that was given by Howard back in the SSR, the Scientific Strategic Reserve. That was, back when Howard and Peggy, were trying to like, okay, we were the shield before the shield, and we make shields. And by making shield with the greatest element of the entire Marvel database, which is protected by a mine cavern in a very, very special place we call Wakanda. Wakanda? Yeah, that is kind of like centermost Africa. It is only to be visited by legends. No outsiders are allowed in Wakanda unless you actually have an appointment. And the same respect that Wakanda was outside of, this idea of the imagination practiced by our red furry friend Elmo. It's like sometimes when you need the imagination, it is the only art that will be able to set us free from evil. To use this idea called the imagination from our boy Elmo, and being able to use that for the greater benefit and for the greater good and for the safety of the good. So then that way we are able to find solutions to our problems. Not by letting the negative emotions overconsume us, like we saw in the Thunderbolts, as we saw from Age of Ultron. Yeah, Sure, Natasha had died on Vormir for the Soul Stone, so that we are able to try to save the world and be able to save that world and be able to bring everybody back from the dead. From this idea we call time travel. Time travel? Yeah, time travel. People said, oh, yeah, isn't that kind of like Back to the Future or Hot Tub Time Machine? Well, yeah, kind of. Except, again, if that's been practiced all the way back during the time when Scott Lang has showed up with a scientific van and there's a tunnel that goes to the quantum realm, yes, the quantum realm. Yeah, the quantum realm is a place where everything is smaller and time moves on a different speed. Yeah, everything is smaller in the quantum realm, and everybody runs on a different time clock there. That's when in the second movie of Ant-Man, where there's like, oh, well, we have a portable laboratory. A portable laboratory? Yes, there is a portable laboratory. Yeah, and Hank Pym and Hope Van Dyne, they were trying to contact out to Scott Lang, who at the time was on house arrest in San Francisco. When we actually had the Partridge Family song "Come On Get Happy." How do you get happy? Well, you can do one of two things: listen to the Partridge Family, or watch the Partridge Family, or believe in the Partridge Family, or listen to David Cassidy and the Partridge Family, or we can even do is even better. You can listen to Pharrell Williams. Pharrell Williams, yeah, he was the one that makes every single masterpiece of music that has ever been and will forever be in the Minions. Uh, yeah, his most famous one is again the from the last movie that he made last summer. That is, the most powerful, most epic one he's ever made so far in the Minions franchise. Well, then again, it's like that's why they have a whole ride of the Minions down at Universal. The ride is like a blaster gun kind of ride where you have to blast all the villains down in VillainCon. VillainCon, what's VillainCon? Well, it's a convention that's only suggested for supervillains. And because all the minions, they are immortal, they live forever. Minions can live beyond us. They are immortal. A minion is immortal. In their world, they're immortal. Minions live forever. That's why they're able to show us the timeline in the first Minions movie. Minions are immortal, and that has been confirmed. It is a fact. It's a fact. I'm afraid it is so. It is a fact. Minions are immortal. So, those yellow, spongy looking guys that love to eat bananas, yeah, they are immortal. They can live past us. You know why? Because if they were able to live all the way since prehistoric time, since the Big Bang happened, since the beginning of the universe, from the power and the extension of the Book of Genesis, uh, if minions are able to live forever and we cannot, well, again, whoever their next master is, well, we don't know unless you live long enough to find who the next master is after Master Gru. But again, if it always kind of boils down to that, then remember, guys, it's this idea that just looks good on paper until it becomes something you see on the screen. Done by visual effects artists and graphic designers and engineers and all those people that do the arts on the computer, which I am eventually trying to reach that, but I do not have that technology access yet. But there are places that do have that. And that is what I'm trying to build towards, guys. I'm trying to build into trying to be an animator. I don't know. Maybe I might even take a class in animation. Or, pictures that then becomes animation. Through, I don't know, places that are not Adobe, because everybody who has been an artist before me and after me will have to remember that Adobe, though it is, an art software, it is a very, very, very complex and very, very intense software that you need to kind of have the right education to use. And without having the prior education and not being able to have a professor or, a mentor or a master, I like to say master, then you won't be able to actually know how to figure out how to use the power of the imagination to try to exact your ideas. They become dreams. Dreams? Yes, dreams. And I'm not talking about just any dreams. I'm talking about dreams that become real. When I say dreams that become real, that is from getting from the page to the computer to the silver screen. How do you do that? Well, it's kind of like a strategical process. First, you got to go to school like me. Then you got to keep on practicing writing scripts and writing stories and drawing and doing cartoons and making sure you don't stop because you want to quit. You don't stop at all. Stopping at whatever you're doing just because you feel like you're not appreciated and you're getting, judged for it. Don't let the haters hate that. Don't let the haters run your parade. Don't let the sunshine ruin your rain. That is a little famous quote that my boy Oscar had taught me on Sesame Street back when I was about 3 years old. Oscar the Grouch, keeping things grouchy and keeping things clean and keeping things great since 1969. Yes, people used to say that if you might have this idea that might sound like a great idea, but then if people say or try to shut down your dreams, don't listen to them. Don't listen to people that want to shut down and crash down your dreams. That is what everybody's been trying to tell me. That's what my professors, my teachers, my masters, my friends, my close friends and close friends and close colleagues are always trying to say. Do not let those negative people crush your dreams. Hello there again, Shiva. How's it going? But yeah, basically what we've been trying to do is fill in this idea that you should never let any people try to shatter your dream. Because if you have an idea and you have the power of the imagination to illustrate that idea, you never, ever let those non-believers try to shut down or rain on your parade. Again, it's this idea. And you said the quote in the day is, if she leaves you for another lad, there is always her dad. Oh, Jackson, that is pure poetry, man. Did you know, little fun pop culture figure fact, I used to be a poet and you just did not know it. In fact, if you did not know it, then you're going to have to blow it like a birthday candle. Because with a birthday candle, you have to make the wish. And if you don't make the wish, then I don't know. Maybe your girlfriend is a bitch. Okay? And maybe she doesn't like to eat fish because you serve it on the wrong dish. And again, there's a little bit of poetry for you. So, you just don't need to rely on everybody for everything in your life, but it's nice to have a backup plan. Because without a backup plan, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Again, we lost a man. His name is Stan. He was a man who had a plan. And when that plan became a plan, it became more than just a plan. It became a universe. A universe that you and I are able to go into a bookstore and be able to enjoy the colorful pages of what we call the Marvel Universe. Excelsior! You know Excelsior, you know where that comes from? That comes from this idea that your boy Stan Lee, who is, celebrating in heaven with the creator of the Muppets, Mr. Jim Henson. Him and Jim go all the way back together. It was like, you're the one that made the Muppets and the Fraggles. You also used to have this idea that people were like, oh yeah, he did. You know why? Because he's the father who created that universe. Just like Stan Lee created the Marvel Universe for you and I and your generations that are yet to come and forever will come. Because when you think you are the most forthcoming, let me tell you something, baby. You're not the one that's coming. This idea that becomes your dream, and the dream that becomes reality. This idea that a reality that has been further fragmented, more fragmented than I don't know, a crystal that, self-destructs. When Superman does not put the proper protection protocol on his fortress up in the Fortress of Solitude. You need to try to figure out this idea and this sense. Well, if you feel like I don't make sense, well, let me tell you something, baby cakes. Nothing in the world makes sense. We're all mad here. We're all mad here, my dear. We all mad here. You know why? Because we're not mad like angry at you. We're mad because we're crazy. We're bad guys. That's what we do. We're bad guys. That's what we do. And then people are just staring at Margaret Robbie as she knows she's changing. Yeah. The world would be empty without folks like me. You need people like me. You need people like me. You need to be having some more people like me. I want to be like you. I want to be so true. I want to be like you, man cub. I want to have red fire. I want to have the burning sense of a burning fire. So if you can give me some fire to warm up my fire, to try to be my burning desire, I need you, you, you. Because when you need fire, you're not gonna just need it for the warmth at night. You're gonna need it to try to bring fuel to the fire for the fight. The fight, yes. Na 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 na. She wants to start that fight. Na 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 na. She wants to start the fight. So no one disrespects her, because if you don't understand anyone, you don't right. Because let me tell you something, the world was never fixed. 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 Not at all. The world was never fixed. The world was never fixed. In fact, it wasn't fixed from day one. But let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you something. Tell me something, boy. Do you feel like you want to grow soy on the farms? Because that's how you get soy sauce for your Chinese food. Because let me tell you, the farms are not easy at all. Because farming is a religion that truly is the most profoundest one. Because if you don't feel like you are the worthy ones, then you don't always understand. Because what you tell your brother Stan, that then there was a plan, and when there was a plan, you didn't understand. Because you didn't follow the books. You didn't follow the instruction and manuals. Emmanuel, he was the king. A king of most awesome yet true and me. Because he sent you as he has sent me on a most glorious purpose for you and me. Yes, Emmanuel, 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 for he was the king of Israel. Remember, hark the herald angels sing for the glory of the King. Because when you're on a dating night, because you just need to fly. Buzz, buzz, buzz when birds do fly. Then you realize you crashed and fly. Then you pick up yourself again. Then you fly yourself again. Because world is not about giving up. It's about trying to try again. You need to try again, my friend. Because if you don't, you already have lost. You don't want to live in a lost hope. You don't need to be the last hope. You need to believe that you can try to set who you want to be who you want to be. You need to set yourself up for success. How to set yourself up for success? Well, again, it's also called go see some help. Just like I am seeing help, maybe you guys need to find some help. And also, by the way, my phone is almost dead. So until next time, until we see you again, see you on the Huts.